Hey, what's up, guys? It's Film Geek here, and I just finished watching 2008's The Reader with Kate Winslet. Kate Winslet actually won an Oscar for this movie for Best Actress. I actually thought that her and the entire cast was absolutely brilliant in this movie. The acting is just spot on, clearly across the board. Unfortunately, the story is all over the place. The pacing is so incredibly slow. There were multiple times in this movie where I just wanted to turn it off. I've never turned off a movie partway through, but I got real close on this one. It was pretty much painful. There were parts of it that were extremely heart-touching and emotion-packed. But for the most part, I was bored out of my freaking mind, and not even the gratuitous nudity in this movie was enough to keep my interest. I had a really hard time stomaching this movie. Like I said, the acting, phenomenal, but that's where the good stuff ended. And speaking of Kate Winslet's incredible amount of nudity, the gravity is taking its toll on this lady. I hate to say it, but you remember back in 1997, 11 years before this movie came out, how amazing her rack was? Yeah, not the case any longer. Another good thing I will say about this movie, though, speaking of the aging process, is that the makeup in this movie is also amazing. The lead guy is, we go from when he's 17 to when he's, in his 40s. He's played by a different actor. Kate Winslet does not have that luxury in that they use her both when she's in her, mid to late 20s and when she's in her late 60s, and everything in between, pretty much. We see her in her 20s, we see her in her 40s, and we see her in her 60s, and the makeup is just stunning. But once again, the pacing is excruciating, and there are some scenes that went on much longer than they should have, and the fact that in the special features of this movie there are extended scenes makes me want to kind of slit my own wrists, because it's like if they actually cut stuff out of this, I would have turned it off and thrown it out the window before. So yeah, it's definitely a character piece as opposed to a story piece. Although the story, once again, it is a heart-touching story, it just seems like it takes forever to tell it, and there are parts of it that seem completely mundane and pointless. So I think, or just because of how long they are, like the courtroom scene in this movie, it seems like it just went on forever. I do not recommend seeing The Reader unless you just want to see some damn good performances, in which case, go ahead. But if you want an all-around good movie, The Reader's not it. I give The Reader a 2 out of 5, simply because of the stunning performances in this movie. Had the performances been bland, it might have gotten like a 1 or less. But Kate Winslet and Ralph Fiennes and everyone else, David Cross, and all of the supporting cast did wonderful, wonderful jobs in this movie. Cannot stress that enough. But as an overall movie, 2 out of 5.